I'm Shawn Yao, and this is One News Now. The IATF has extended the travel ban on 7 countries until the end of July because of the threat of the Delta COVID variant. Let's discuss this further with Maricel Halili, who joins us live from Mandaluyong. Hi, Mase. What are these 7 countries again covered by the existing travel ban?
Hi, Sean. There are no new countries included in the travel restrictions. The decision of the IATF is just to extend the implementation of travel restrictions, like what you've said, in these 7 countries until the end of July or on July 31. These includes India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka. We have the United Arab Emirates and Oman.
Now, has the IATF also recommended to include Indonesia in the travel ban? We all know that our proximity to the Southeast Asian country is quite close, and of course they also saw a recent spike in Delta cases. Are we expecting to see other countries included in the list?
This is part of the studies being made by the members of the Interagency Task Force. We asked about it to a presidential spokesperson, Harry Roque, earlier, but he said that the IATF has already given a recommendation to the president, and President Duterte will make his decision. As to when, we still have to wait.
All right. So is there anything on the proposed quarantine restrictions for the second half of July, meaning after July 15? Any word from the IATF or the palace?
Sean, there is no concrete decision yet as to what will be our next community quarantine, particularly in the NCR Plus 8 region. But then Secretary Roque reiterates that the consideration of the national government, of course, the healthcare utilization and the number of daily average of COVID cases. But then the members of the Octa Research Group has already expressed their opinion about the community quarantine, particularly in NCR Plus. They said that it will be advisable if the NCR Plus will remain under the general community quarantine, because despite the fact that the number of COVID cases in Metro Manila has already decreased, we still have to closely monitor the situation, considering that there is still a threat of the new variants, particularly Delta and Lambda variants.
All right. Moving it over to the West Philippine Sea, Mase, did the palace have anything to say about these new reports of Filipino fishermen yet again being prevented by the Chinese Coast Guard from fishing? This is, of course, in the Panatag Shoal.
Secretary Roque invited some local government executives of Masinloc to get their views about these reports, and the mayor of Masinloc, Mayor Lim, denies the report that there are fishermen being harassed by Chinese authorities in Bajo de Masinloc. Some of the fishermen also of the local government joined the local executive in denying these allegations or these reports.
All right, that's very good to hear. Now, moving it over to politics and next year's elections, was there any reaction from the palace on the results of that Pulse Asia survey showing the Duterte tandem leading that survey for next year's elections?
Secretary Roque says that this is a welcome development. It's a welcome report. He said that this only proves that the public still trusts the Duterte administration and they are satisfied with the performance of the government.
All right, and last question. I've been very curious about this. We all saw the photos of President Duterte getting inoculated with a second shot of Sinopharm this week. Did the palace explain why it actually took, I think, almost 2 months before the president received his second dose? Supposedly, the gap is only a month between the doses.
That's right, Sean. We asked Secretary Roque about it. He said that the attending physician of President Duterte was present when President Duterte was inoculated with the second dose of Sinopharm. So apparently there's a consent from his physician, although as we all know, the inoculation was led or was done by Health Secretary Francisco Duque. That's the only statement that they gave.
All right, then that's the only thing we'll know for now. Thank you so much for all those updates. Maricel Halili joining us live from Mandaluyong City. And an infectious diseases expert is proposing to retain GCQ status in the NCR Plus bubble as well as other areas until December. Speaking with One News, the Chiefs, Dr. Ronjean Solante explained that this will help minimize the possibility of variant-driven outbreaks while the COVID vaccination rate remains low. Solante also added that the gradual increase of economic activities is still possible, but it will depend on the COVID-19 trends across the regions.
Nakita natin, bakit tayo nagkaganito ngayon na medyo controlled or medyo merong good numbers na, no, na hindi na yon pumalo 6,000-7,000? It's because we remained in GCQ. And being in this protocol, we'll always keep our toes always alert. Hindi ka maging complacent sa pagsuot ng face mask, face shield, and especially the unwanted gatherings, no?
Moving on now to other stories we're keeping our eyes on. US-based geospatial imagery and analysis firm Similarity stood by its report on ships dumping raw sewage in the West Philippine Sea. Similarity clarified that a stock photo used by one local TV network did not come from their analysis and presentation. But despite questioning the report, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said that he has ordered concerned agencies to investigate the matter. The Armed Forces has responded to a report by the Commission on Audit or COA flagging almost 470 million pesos in unused AFP funds. The Armed Forces said there were delays in the implementation of projects, particularly under the modernization program. It also explained that the delays were due to unforeseeable circumstances, issues with licenses, and constraints on the end of contractors. And the Office of the Vice President spokesperson Barry Gutierrez says that VP Leni Robredo is unbothered by recent survey results. A Pulse Asia survey in June showed that 28% would vote for Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte for president, while 18% would pick her father or president for the vice presidency. Gutierrez maintained that Robredo's numbers are respectable, considering that she has been focused on COVID-19 response in the last year. And the PBA has released a schedule for its opening day on July 16. The Alaska Aces and Blackwater Bossing will kick off the 2021 Philippine Cup after the opening ceremonies. At 3 p.m., Rain or Shine will take on the NLEX Road Warriors, followed by the face-off between the Meralco Bolts and Northport Batang Pier at 6 p.m. All games will be played at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City under a closed circuit or home gym home format. Fans will also not be allowed inside the venue. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall earlier said that participants will get tested every 10 days, and if one player tests positive, then the entire team will likewise be quarantined. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.